Hi, this is Randy Paulson, and welcome back to the New Teacher Workshop Information 2014, and going to number 17 on your booklet, and also keys is the title. Do not loan your keys to students, and if your keys are lost, make sure that you report it immediately. So it's better to report it right away. I know that it's kind of an embarrassing situation, but the thing is that around schools, keys don't just get left laying around. People pick them up pretty quick, and it'll save you a lot of time if you report it. And we're sitting there with a set of keys and saving you maybe hours and hours of searching. So report it immediately. I think that's the best thing to do. And there's always exceptions as far as loaning keys. Like shop, a lot of times you'll have a key that you have on a ring or something that you give to a student that goes around and opens up the cabinets and that type of thing. That's okay, but your master keys, your room key, that's probably not appropriate. Attendance, done electronically. It's the beginning at every hour or block, depending on if you're in the block or hour. Computer in your room can connect with the attendance network. Sometimes if you have problems, you can contact either Damon, the media technician, Barb Sass, who's the data coordinator, or Sharon Manahan. I'm probably your last result or last person to ask, and because these people are more of an experts than I am. You should be marking students absent or tardy. Use the Skyward grading and attendance. Make corrections before the next class period starts, and that's very important. So let's say that you mark a student unexcused and they do show up later on with a pass. It would be either marking them to an unexcused tardy, but if the pass is acceptable, then you just take them off the list altogether. Okay? Students late to first hour, you need to just report it immediately, so you don't wait and turn that in. We need to get a very accurate attendance after first hour, so that's the only time that you turn them in to have them go get a pass from the office. Tardy is in unexcused absences. Obviously, it's very important that we deal with those on a regular basis. Those things are dealt with in the office, and so we call students down in order to deal with those, and you must inform the students when they are tardy. And a good example of that would be, okay, Johnny comes in 5 minutes late. Johnny, you're late, and I'm going to be marking you down as an unexcused tardy. So, and again, that's done in the office. And one thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we correct things prior to coming into the office. So if they're late second hour and they come in to second hour, we make sure that by third hour we get it changed to excused, or that they're taken off the absence list. Excessive absences, more than 3 days, quarter per quarter, an unexcused absence, and grade reductions. So if they have 3 days of unexcused absence, there's going to be grade reductions after that. So, and that's done in the office. It's not done by the teachers. Teachers can give a participation grade. That helps with the absences usually. If students know that there's going to be a participation grade, you do have to allow them a way to make up the participation grade, and that might be a little assignment or something like that. 2 days to make up an worked per day miss, so you got to make sure that you give 2 days if they miss a day, to a maximum of a week if they miss like a whole week. By the end of the next week, the first day of the following week, they should have their work cut up. Okay, grading policy. We have a 90, 80, 70, 60 grading policy, and that's basically, we break that down a little bit more. 93 and a percent and above, or 93% or above is an A. For A minus, it would be 80 to 83%, 83 to 87% would be a B, and 87% to above it would be a B plus. So that's how we kind of break that down with the 3s and the 7s. So 3 cutoff or the minus, and the 7 is the start of a plus, so B plus or whatever. So also, if they turn in their assignments late, and it's up to 2 weeks that they can turn their assignments in late and they still get 50% or higher. As a teacher, you can give more of a variance on that. It could be 2, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 4 weeks. So that's still up to you. And you can give higher than 50% if they do better. So again, that's up to you. But one of the other things that we want to try to do is for grading, the breakdown of grading, for practice things like assignments and daily work, that type of thing that is really coming down to practicing, preparing them for a quiz or a test or whatever. That's graded at about 20%. But otherwise, the 80% can be quizzes, tests, projects, essays, or written papers, those kind of things that could make up the 80%. So, medications, students are not allowed to carry medications. As soon as you have a rule, there's always exceptions, and the state has changed that so that puffers can be allowed for asthma, so students can carry that. And then any doctor requirements that the students can carry the medication with them if the doctor says that they need it, but proper forms need to be filled out in the nurse's office. Noontime tutoring, students in grades 7 through 10 have noontime tutoring. This is done during lunchtime. For 9 through 10, it includes both their SST and their lunchtime. And what usually happens is students eat their lunch first down in the noontime tutoring room, and then as soon as they get done, they start getting tutoring or start getting to their work. This is for students that are falling behind, way behind, or have incomplete, significant amount of incomplete work or quizzes and stuff, and are failing. Student organization sessions, or SOS, these are for grades 7 and 8. Students have a significant amount of organization issues which are causing them to fail, do poorly in school. And these people are referred by our student assistance team, and individual teachers can refer it to the student assistance team, but people that are actually assigned to SOS are actually referred. Seating charts, make sure that you keep a seating chart. It's a must, and it's mainly because of your substitute, when you have a substitute. And it's okay to change your seating chart, but as long as you keep it up to date, and as long as you're keeping the sub packet information in the office, as long as you're keeping that up. So put this information in the subfolder, and along with all the rest of your information. So Terry and Sharon are the ones that keep that up to date. Calling in ill, we have a new system, and you might want to refer to your outline as far as how that system works. But we do have a new system on number 28, and we have people contact teacheroncall.com, and there's the website that you go to, and you just basically follow the procedures for needing a sub, and they actually find a sub for you, which is a lot better than what it was. It was usually calling me at 5:30 in the morning, whatever, and getting subs. I could start calling subs for 30 minutes in the morning and try to find subs. So, but lesson plans need to be in your subfolder, or you can email them to Sharon or Terry. If you have an emergency during the day and you need a sub, that's when you still contact Terry Dudak or Sharon Manahan, and to get your sub lined up when you're here in school. And then there might be some other special circumstances where you'd contact them directly, but it usually has to do with things that are short term. The daily bulletin announcements beginning of first period is when we announce them. I usually make this both the teacher and the student responsibility. So if the teacher forgets, the student should be telling the teachers, hey, we need to get the announcements read, that type of thing. So I put the responsibility both on students and teachers. That way students can't tell their advisor, well, I didn't hear it, why didn't you hear it? Well, the teacher didn't read it. Now it's their responsibility too, so now the advisor can say, well, did you tell your teacher to read it? And so it kind of eliminates that excuse. If you have an announcement, you should be turning it in to Luann here. She's the assistant to the superintendent. We need this by 3:30 p.m. the day before so that we can get all the announcements ready to go. Only emergency types of announcements will be done the day of before the announcements are read. So that's only for emergency type situation. Dismissing students, just a strong reminder about what a bell does. A bell is basically, I look at the bell as being more for the teacher than the students. So the teachers dismiss the students, not the bell. So if the teacher is in the middle of saying something and the bell rings, the kids shouldn't just be automatically getting up. So the teacher should be able to finish what he or she is saying and then excuses the student. But the teacher can also just simply say, when the bell rings, you can go. So again, that's still the teacher that is dismissing the student and not just the bell. Okay, so keep that in mind. And the other thing is, don't allow students to stand by the door. If they're standing by the door and you're outside the door, you can't see what's going on at the end of the line. And if you're at the end of the line, you can't see what's going on by the door. And usually what happens is that if you as a teacher, you allow them to stand by the door, then when you have a sub, that means that they have free reign and they think that they're allowed to be out in the hallway. Okay? So don't allow them to be standing by the door. Keep them by their seats, in their seats, and sitting down, and then when the bell rings, you can excuse them. Study halls, one of the things that we need to do with study halls is making sure that we're keeping the rules uniform, and it's all listed in the Maroon book. And it's very important that we keep it uniform because we're going to have teachers actually taking over the same study hall. And so if one teacher comes in with one set of rules, another teacher comes in with a different set of rules, then it's going to be very confusing to the student, and also make it difficult for the teachers that are involved, because one might be more stricter or something like that. So keep them uniform. Look into the Maroon book for the guidelines. The academic standards is something that is an ongoing process and probably will always be an ongoing process. And this is the proper placement of all the standards, making sure that our curriculum is aligned vertically, horizontally, not only in our own departments but across departments. We're continuing to look at science, agriculture, the STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, and that's an ongoing area that we're looking at. Language arts, we're still going to be looking at aligning our curriculum in language arts, and that's going to be an ongoing process. And social studies we're pretty much done, but we'll probably be looking at assessments in the social studies area. All right, this is going to be the end of segment 2, and segment 3 is going to be a lot shorter, so it shouldn't take you near as much time to get through segment 3, but this is the end of segment 2.